All right, so today, I think I may have mentioned this in a previous video, but my thought is, when I did my floor mats, if you recall, I bought this stuff, I don't mind how dirty it is, that I cut, and it matched that perfectly. And it's actually they've been really nice floor mats. Now, they're not a great, or I should say, not a perfect fit. I've got a little trimming to do up around here because of the stop bolt gets in the way of the mat itself. So I'm just gonna do a little cut around that. And then this over here, it bulges a little bit. It's not a big deal. But other than that, they look great. And I've been happy with it. So my thought was I bought more. This is it. Gonna see. That's what I have. I got it at Home Depot. I think it's like 28 bucks, I think. And my thought is I pull out this carpet and replace it with that. Now, if you can see here, I don't know how much you can see here. There's the front carpet too, which I'm not really interested in replacing. The floor mats are in good shape. So it's just this back part because, I thought this is the cargo area. It'd be pretty nice to have a nice rubber mat back here. So I'm going to try to do the work to remove this carpet. It looks like, based on what I can tell, I'm going to have to unbolt these seats. Let's see if I can figure out how to see this, because the carpet, I think, runs underneath the seats, these seat rails, or else they're just really tight. But I think I'll unbolt them, just loosen just a hair. Pull that out. I don't think they're going to come out otherwise. So anyway, so that's a little bit of work. I don't love unbolting the seats, just from a safety standpoint. But at the same time, nobody's sitting back here. So that's today's project. We're gonna see how it goes, see if it works. Again, for those that are following any of my socials, I just scored this beauty. It's an awful lot of wires, a lot of different harnesses. So that's another future video on trying to figure out through the process how I'm going to get that mounted up here. Because again, if you follow any of my stuff, I hate drilling in to all this nice stuff. But this might be the one time I do, for the trade-off of having something unique like this in here. It's pretty cool. You don't see them in a lot of cars other than the Jimnys. And I just think it's pretty neat. So this might be the one that I'm willing to do it with. But the first thing I got to do is pull off the dash where the vents and stuff are, and make sure that I can find that wiring before I do anything. I've been told it's there by a couple of you that have saw my post and commented. So I appreciate your responses. I'll dig in and find out if I actually see them there. But I'm going to dig into this. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to record this process. I'm going to try to set up the camera, do a high speed, just so you can kind of see the process. Or maybe I can stop along the way, kind of show you what I'm doing. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to get started and see how it goes. These screws, definitely a little oxidized. Some are better than others. That one is really white, but might clean those up a little bit before I put them back on. Maybe throw a coat of paint on them. And on the one end, there's a little clip. I don't know if that's supposed to be a clip or not, but so it's there. Those bolts seem like they're more than enough. Anyway, this is off. It's in pretty good shape. There's a little worn spot right here. I'm not gonna worry too much about it. But that was easy. There's a clip in there that holds on the carpet, clips down the carpet, so I'm gonna use these to separate it. So it's just a little kind of button style. There's a bottom ring, top piece, and it kind of just snaps in, so holds the carpet down. And loosening the seats, the front seat bolts, just a hair, the carpet slides right out, so that was the right call. And they weren't that tight. I don't know if they've been taken out already. And that's why they're not that tight, but there's also a few of these clips. There we go. That easy. So now if you look, that is the color of what my Jimny was before it got this amazing gold paint job. It was the, I looked it up, I don't remember the name of it, but it's the dark green. If you've got a keen eye, you've probably also seen it under my hood, because under my hood is also not painted. But this, the wiring back here, you can see goes to my weird Pioneer satellite speakers, which work great, sound good. But yeah, so I should be able to use that, lay it on top. Let's do this real quick, one-handed. So you can see there, I'll just cut that shape out, just like I did with the floor mats. I'll follow all these patterns. I'll get these holes, you know, cut out. This is for the bracket that holds the seats down. I'll just, I'll trim that out just the same way. This goes around the seat belts here, and you can just see it's an open cut. There's a little hole here, and a little hole here. You can't really see it, although there's not one there. There is here though. And where are these bolts here that hold the seat belts down? So I may have to cut holes just to give those some room, but that's the gist of it. Not too bad. I know I've seen some people, I think way before the fame is the one I saw, who he stripped out all this stuff and then he rhino lined it, which is also not a bad idea. It looked pretty good when it was all cleaned up and rhino lined. So you can see how easy that would be to do. It just looks a little unfinished when you start looking at it on, maybe when you put that trim piece back on, it wouldn't look that unfinished actually. So yeah, that's not a bad idea either, but I'm gonna cut this. It obviously is a little thicker than the carpet, but actually maybe I'm lying. It's actually not, it's about the same. So I don't think I'm gonna have any problem getting this to go back in. The tricky part might be just kind of sliding it under here. I don't really want to remove all this. The carpet was kind of tucked under. You can kind of see here how it's tucked under. I think I'll be able to get that to go back under there with no problem. But this is another view of these snaps. So there's the top, there's the back, and it just snaps right onto that. This one came out, which is no big deal. It's easy to put it back on. But yeah, that's how it works. So I'm gonna keep going with this, see how it works out. So I'll set you down, start cutting. All right, so now you can see shapes drawn out, 3 holes, slots for the seatbelt, the overall shape. That's for the bracket. I might get some drill bits just so I can get nice round holes for these and these. I don't know if I have one big enough for that, I might. Just so I get a cleaner cut, but everything else I just use a pair of regular old scissors. That's what I did with the floor mats. Nothing fancy, and it cuts right through it nicely. So let's get the basic shape started. Okay, I don't know if you can see me. Basic shape is cut. I have the bracket, the seat bracket, and these 3 holes, which again I want to use see if I can use a drill to give me just a little bit more precise. But you can see the slots cut there for the seat belts. I think that's seat belts, yeah, seat belts. And the rest of the shape is pretty close. So, see if we can find some bits.
I'll be able to at least get some decent holes from it by doing this. Let's see. Not bad. Probably looks pretty. BC. This works. Probably just my chest. Wants to stretch a little bit of that pattern. Okay. Let me try to follow this.
All right, I think you can see that now. Looks a lot like that. Or that. This is the opening. It's hard to see, but well, that's where the should be able to go around the bracket, seat belts, mounting points. I don't know, I feel pretty good about it. We're gonna find out here quickly. So you can see I'm taking the seats out. It's going to be easier for me just to get everything lined back up without those seats in the way. It's only 2 bolts each seat, so no big deal. All right, so cleaned up the heads of the screws, so they look good now. I kind of wanted to throw some paint on them, but I didn't. Maybe another time. I just want to get this back together.
It wasn't too hard. It was a little work to just maneuver getting the rubber to slide into the old trim. So I was forgetting obviously how carpet would be. But it's doable, no big deal. It goes over nicely, it's a nice fit. So yeah.
All right, so before I put the seats back in, you can see how it turned out. This is all just me sweating, but fits under this nicely. The cleaned up screw heads look great. I did break this clip, but I have a whole box of all the different size retainer clips that I like to use. So I just grabbed a new one that fit. I don't think it's gonna rub on the door, but I should find out. Seems all right. But yeah, getting under here was a little tricky. It's a little dark. There we go. Getting under here was a little tricky. But once I got it under there, like all these snaps lined right up. Same on this side, I had to get it under there, but it's laying nice and flat. I could probably trim a little bit around this a little better so it's not bulged like that, which I might do real quick, no big deal. But other than that, I mean, it looks pretty awesome. I don't know. Once I put the seats back in, you won't see any of that. I think it looks pretty clean. Let me know what you think. I'll come back here in a second and show you finished product once I have seats back in. That's literally all I trimmed off. Just a little bit, just so that lays flat now. Gave a little bit of room for that, so now it's nice and flat. All right, back together. This is it with the seats up. Looks pretty nice. I'll put the seats down. The second one's a little hard for me to do. That's the finished look. So you can see, slots right under the existing carpet. Lines up nicely. I adjusted this. Probably the least clean cut I've got, but it's still not bad. I'm gonna wash off the pencil marks. But other than that, I think it looks great. But I would love to know your thoughts on this mod. I feel like it's, you know, if you want to throw stuff in, you don't want carpets dirty. For those that actually drive your Jimnys on a daily basis like I do, if I want to throw stuff back here, you know, I don't feel like I'm gonna get carpet dirty, although this carpet was not the cleanest, although it probably could be scrubbed and cleaned and made look nice. But once I found this stuff and figured it out for my floor mats, man, I thought it would be perfect for back here. You can see where these seatbelt bolts are. I didn't have to cut anything out. They bulged over nicely. No big deal. This is all screwed back into the same holes, clean screw heads, new clip, seats back installed. I mean, looks like it's supposed to be there. All right, well, that's it for me. Thanks for watching another video. I'll be back soon with more. Thanks.